G'day YSSY, welcome back to another Thursday trip report. I'm at Nadi International Airport here in Fiji, and today I'm flying to Sydney, Australia with Fiji Airways A350 business class. Now let's go in and check in. So before you enter the international side of the terminal, you'll have to show the police your COVID test result, and then you're good to go in. Once you enter, it's obvious where the Fiji Airways counters are. It's the only airline that the counters are open at the moment. This morning, we have 2 departing flights on Fiji Airways to Sydney and Brisbane, and there are lots of Aussie travellers here. Check-in was pretty straightforward and easy. That's given if you've done the travel declaration and prepared everything you need to enter Australia. Nadi Airport is really strict with security, which is good in a way. They're really picky about your liquid. You must put them in a transparent plastic bag. So we just did some duty-free shopping. Now we're heading to the Fiji Airways Premier Lounge, which is open for their business class customers. Eligible Qantas customers are only allowed to enter if they're on a Qantas Code Share flight. That is a flight with a QF number. The same applies for American Airlines travellers. They must be booked under AA. This is a relatively new lounge, opened in 2017. My first impression of the lounge wasn't too great because I'm a big fan of natural light, and this lounge was built underground, so there was none of that. But let's see how they do otherwise. Given that we're in Fiji, you get unlimited Fiji water here. So buffet is available and you can go grab your own food, unlike in Australia. The food selection is pretty good. Things that you would expect include baked beans, scrambled eggs, bacon and spinach. Drinks including tea and alcohol is available even in the morning, and I got this super white tea. So the rookie error the lounge attendant did was adding the milk right after the boiling water. You can order wine, red wine, white wine, sparkling and cocktail. With cocktails, because it takes time, it's basically table service. Once they're done, they'll bring it to your table. Simply tell your friendly staff where you're sitting at. So here's what I'm having for breakfast. The scrambled eggs looks really good and creamy. It's Fiji time here in Fiji, so doesn't matter what time you have alcohol. So we ordered some cocktails, including mimosa and this green thing that I can't remember exactly what it was. I actually told the staff to surprise me, and oh my god, it was good. Here's me drinking the mimosa. Yum yum yum. So this is actually quite a sizable lounge, but with that being said, it was quite full right now with only 2 departing flights to Sydney and Brisbane. One thing I really like about this lounge was that charging outlets are plentiful. If I were to criticize this lounge, it would be the number of shower rooms available. First of all, there's only 1 male and 1 female shower rooms in the male and female toilets, which aren't enough, especially if it's a transit airport mainly. Second of all, the shower rooms are located in the toilets, so the sense of privacy isn't that great actually. People in the toilet could hear you singing and splashing the water everywhere. Boarding was a bit chaotic, which I didn't enjoy at all. They made an announcement 5 minutes before saying that boarding has started, but it actually didn't start until right now. And then one of the ladies didn't let us board because she said it's only for business class right now, but we're actually in business class being directed to the economy lane. I don't know why it happened, but really there was a lack of communication and it was messy. If you purchased duty-free earlier, you'll be able to collect it on your way to the aircraft. So you can see there was a security personnel doing a security scanning on a ground crew, which is actually quite reassuring and comforting to see as a passenger.
Hello.
Thank you.
Mr. Wong mentioned also there's a window seat.
Thank you.
From the back here.
My seat today is 19A, the second last row on the left hand side. So Fiji Airways operates multiple flights to Australia daily, and it's usually either A350 or 737 MAX. If you get A350, it'll be a flatbed seat like this one. 737 MAX is a recliner seat. On your seat, you'll find a good looking blanket and pillow. You'll find a kit consisting of your face mask and hand sanitizer, a little handbook explaining your seat features, your safety card, and the content in the travel kit earlier.
Morning. Orange juice for you?
Champagne, please. So for welcome drinks, there's juice, water, champagne.
Thank you very much.
The crew also gave me a bottle of Fiji-made hand sanitizer. Champagne is always good, especially when you're flying in business class. We have a completely full business class cabin today to Sydney.
Lavatory. Your hand luggage should be stored on the seat in front of you or in the overhead compartments provided. Please ensure all personal movie screens, footrests, and headrests are stored for takeoff and alcohol.
The crew just came back and offered us a hot towel.
Thank you.
Purser Grace and a team of cabin crew would like to welcome you on board this Fiji Airways service shortly bound for Sydney. At this stage, just waiting for some more passengers to board the aircraft. Once everyone is on board, we'll be closing doors, pushing back starting engines. Quite a short taxi here at Nadi to take off towards the south, basically climbing straight ahead towards Sydney, climbing initially to 38,000.
Before we close doors, we request all passengers to be seated in your allocated seats. For your safety.
Lisa Guavanaka, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Grace and I'm your purser on this flight. It is our pleasure to welcome you to our 5-star Skytrack safety and Apex Diamond rated home on board Fiji Airways flight FJ911, code shared with Qantas, bound for Sydney, and welcome on board.
So I just showed you the menu and here's the seat features leaflet. Nothing too much that they're showing actually, but this little card actually looks good on the seat.
Or in the lockers provided. Please ensure personal movie screens and footrests are stowed for takeoff. Approved electronic devices must...
Our love for nature and environment around us. Welcome to our home.
I was taking my time to drink this and the crew let me keep it for takeoff, but I had to hold it. One thing I noticed that's interesting at Nadi Airport is that the grass is really long. I'll now quickly go through the seat features with you guys. So here you've got a cot hook, you've got a large TV which is touchscreen, tray table which I'm struggling a bit to take it out, I'll let the crew do it later. You have an ottoman there which becomes a part of your bed when you lie down. You have a compartment there, large enough for a bottle of water. Another compartment with charging outlets, USB ports, and a remote for your TV. Also a headphone jack, and that's 2 USB ports. Another tiny compartment big enough for your passport and pen. So this is where they put the arrival card, and you can put your menu as well. Here's a reading light. Headrest is not adjustable, it becomes your pillow basically when you lie down. Here are some seat control buttons, so you use it when you want to extend your leg rest and recline your seat. You can also use it to adjust the hardness and softness of your seat back. So for the other seat features on the other side, on the aisle side, you'll find another compartment which has your noise cancelling headphone and a bottle of water. You can also lift it up so it really becomes your armrest, and also when you lie down it acts like a little door. That gives you a little bit of privacy. The headphone was unfortunately broken, but at least it was clean, and I'll just ask the crew for another one. The cabin crew are now coming around the cabin to take our meal orders. Please get the call. So for breakfast today we had 3 options, but unfortunately when the cabin crew has come to my roll, my preferred option of corn fritters has run out. So now I'm going for the gourmet chicken herb roll option. The last option is continental breakfast. So when I told the cabin crew about the broken headphone, they apologised obviously, and they said they're gonna give me another one right away, but it took them over 15 minutes. And every time when they were approaching my seat, I was like, yes, finally they got my headphone, but no, they were just walking past. So while we were waiting for the headphone and our food, we got a drink of our choice. So I got sparkling water with ice and a slice of lime. So now I'm just going to quickly show you your entertainment on board this aircraft. So you got quite a good selection of movies, and of course you can't miss out this flight map, which is interactive. And you also get live camera views right outside your A350. G'day guys, welcome to Fiji Airways A350 business class lavatory. This is just behind the cockpit, so at the front of the cabin. Quite spacious here. You got branded soap and hand lotion. Pure Fiji's the brand. And you got some nice Fijian touches here, like the plants. Got boat lighting down there. You got a Lonely Cockhook standing here, and there's no window on this A350 business class lavatory. I thought it was on normal A350. Must be the layout and where the lavatory is actually located at. So finally when I got back to my seat, I got my new headphone. Unfortunately this time it's not broken, but it doesn't work. So the crew pulled out the tray table for me and she laid down the tablecloth. And this is when I realised the seat was actually quite dirty. Look at under the cloth, you have crumbs. My friend sitting behind me at 20A said that his seat was even filthier than mine. When the crew put down the cloth, the crumbs fell on his lap. I guess this is why people say don't wear shorts on a plane. He got it all over his bare laps. While we're still waiting for our food, the in-flight purser handed out the Aussie arrival cards, and she actually greeted me personally by my last name, and again personally welcomed me on board Fiji Airways and said if I needed anything just let her or her colleagues know. And still waiting for the food, it's been so long. To give you an idea how bad the waiting is, 9:27 is when the crew came to get my meal order, 9:53 I got my sparkling water, 10:18 I got the tablecloth, and 10:42 is when I got my meal.
Thank you.
And although the crew were nice and polite, I don't know really what went wrong. Was it the crew or was it the service flow designed by the Fiji Airways headquarters? The waiting was simply unacceptable in my opinion. I rarely complain, so it's really bad. Especially when they put down the tablecloth. That 24 minutes I was anticipating the meal tray to come anytime soon, and frankly I was just waiting impatiently for 24 minutes. On a brighter note, the cutlery was really clean and spotless. I could legit see myself clearer than my mirror in my bathroom. Sorry about the ranting earlier. So the chicken roll was really delicious, by the way. The chicken was juicy, not dry at all. Along with your meal, you have a fruit bowl, strawberry jam, butter, cupcake, and bread. So for the tray table, you actually had to pull this metal thing in order to move the tray table. In less than half an hour since I got my meal, the crew has concluded the meal service and even given out another round of drinks, and now I'm gonna try to sleep. We have about 2 hours left before we land into Sydney. So this is the armrest I mentioned earlier. You pull it up, and when you lie down, you get a bit more privacy, and it prevents your butt from falling down on the aisle. With the curvy shell design, it feels like a comfortable nook here. I just got a beautiful mug of English tea with milk, and this time the crew did it well. Look at the colour. Perfect in my opinion. Something I have to mention is that the seat is actually slightly angled downwards at a very not so noticeable degree. So it's definitely not 180 degrees, maybe 175, 178, I don't know, but it's not noticeable really.
Once again, on behalf of Fiji Airways crew, I'd like to thank you for choosing to fly with Fiji Airways, and I look forward to being of service to you again soon.
Message from the Australian government.
Unfortunately, I didn't manage to sleep at all due to the short lying down time, and that's due to the slow service. And to be fair, the relatively short flight time, which is 4 hours, and they started the landing procedure an hour before touching down. And I guess now I'll conclude my quite unsatisfying flight with Fiji Airways right here, right now.
Cabin crew should now be seated for landing.
So be aware, at Nadi Airport you'll need to have done a COVID test before entering the terminal, so your friends and family who are unlikely to have done the COVID test cannot enter the terminal. Check-in was done in a friendly and fast manner. The crew there do check very thoroughly with your travel declaration, your visa and stuff if you're not Australian. The security lane was short, and shortly after we were at the duty free, we got something and then headed downstairs for the Fiji Airways Premier Lounge, and we entered today with our business class ticket. So the lounge was quite crowded. Seemingly there were a few transit passengers from America, and the wait list for the shower was 2 gentlemen behind me, and I decided to not use it so people who really wanted to use it could use it, especially for those who were in Nadi for transit. The food and beverages offering at the Premier Lounge were fantastic and really good. The lounge attendants were also super friendly. The secret cocktail was so delicious, I actually had to. And I really like how this lounge offers alcohol 24/7 basically. So overall for the lounge, great food, great service, comfortable seats. However, there were no natural lights, and the wait list for the shower room can be quite lengthy. Boarding the aircraft today was quite an appalling experience. So some staff made an announcement that the boarding has begun, but it really didn't happen until 5 minutes later. So staff A, when the announcement was made, checked our boarding pass. It said Group A, and then he yelled across the whole boarding gate area to his colleagues, asking if it's Zone A, B, or C or D. His colleagues couldn't hear him, so he repeated a few times until his colleagues confirmed it was Group A business class first. So that was quite unprofessional in my opinion, yelling across the boarding gate. And then staff A eventually led us through the economy lane, which we weren't even aware of. That's when we were stuck in the line for 5 minutes. And then 5 minutes later, when the actual boarding has begun, staff B scanned my friend's boarding pass. She almost let my friend through, and then staff C came and stopped him, saying that we were in economy, so we should wait for business to board first. So he had explained that, yeah, we're actually in business, so please let us through. That was just so stressful, especially for my friend. The atmosphere almost got immediately better when we stepped on board. The cabin crew greeted us by our last name as she welcomed us on board. When I approached my seat, I was so happy. It was a flat bed and it looked fantastic. And after a few minutes, when most business class guests have boarded, the crew came around the cabin to give us welcome drinks and went for a glass of champagne, which I kept until after takeoff. We also got a menu and hot towel, which was totally unexpected on a short haul flight, to be honest, so I was really impressed. Things started to go down again after we took off, so we got our meal order. Unfortunately, the option I wanted wasn't available, and then my headphone was broken. Waited for a long time for another new one. Unfortunately, that one didn't even work. I didn't want to wait for another 15 minutes, so I just gave up and didn't use the entertainment at all. Other than waiting for the headphone, I also waited really long time for our food to come through. On a brighter side, the food was really delicious, the drinks were good, and the crew were nice. However, I was again disappointed when I found that there were crumbs on my seat, the table specifically, and my friend's seat was even worse. He got crumbs falling down on his lap when the crew placed the tablecloth on his table. Secondly, the whole service was appallingly slow. And again, I don't know if it were the cabin crew who were slow, or was it the headquarters fault who designed the service flow. Thirdly, may I add that I was really thankful and appreciative of our in-flight purser for greeting me personally for being a Qantas Gold member. Qantas is a partner of Fiji Airways and is also a One World member, so that's probably why she greeted me. But for the rest of the cabin crew, they never greeted the guests by their names or last names. They also seemed super forgetful, so first of all, the headphone took forever. I'll continue with my story after we land. I do apologize for the long rant, but I think it's important that I mention the good and bad stuff for a trip report. Okay, back to the conclusion. I just said that the cabin crew seemed to be very forgetful. So the headphone took forever and the crew were terribly bad with remembering who ordered what, especially with drinks. For example, my friend ordered a Chardonnay during the meal service. The crew came to me and asked if I ordered it and I said no because A, I didn't really order it, and B, I didn't even know my friend ordered it. If I knew, I would have told the crew that my friend did. So my friend never got it. And after the meal service, when I ordered my English tea, I could actually see the crew holding my tea, wandering around the cabin and asking people if they ordered the tea. The whole set of crew, maybe except for the purser, looked very clueless and innocent. But again, can I say the crew were absolutely friendly? They just seemed forgetful. The seat also wasn't perfectly flat that I noticed, but it didn't really affect my rest or sleep at all. The service aside, if I was to fly long haul, I would be really happy with the seat I got today. The food on board today was also very delicious, even though it wasn't my first option. So I guess that's all the ranting and good things I have to mention about for this trip report. If you're going to book this one-way journey from Nadi to Sydney on Fiji Airways business class, you're looking to pay at least $697 one way. So guys, thank you so much for watching this trip report, and again, sorry about the long rant. I hope that you enjoyed this trip report regardless. If you're new to my channel, I upload a new trip report every Thursday, 12 PM Hong Kong time. That's 3 PM in Sydney, 4 PM in Fiji. So be sure to click that subscribe and bell button so every time when I upload you won't miss out on another trip report, usually with no complaints actually. Outside of YouTube, I'm available on Instagram, Facebook and Snapchat. You can keep up to date with me, send me a DM, preferably on Snapchat and Instagram. I also offer memberships on Patreon and YouTube directly. You can also choose to do one-off payments on PayPal me, and I'll add you to the early access list. So basically when I finish editing a video before a Thursday, I'll send you an email with the video link. So again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. Now we're just listening to the automated announcement from the Australian government and New South Wales government regarding arrival requirements concerning COVID-19. It took about 10 minutes until we were allowed to disembark. After disembarking, I'll show you my last Fiji vlog. Enjoy! So we're doing our day 2 arrival test. Technically it's day 3 now, but we arrived late on day 0, so we could do it on day 3. We just did the math and it worked out fine. We're not doing much today, just chilling by the pool and head down to Denaroo Island for dinner later tonight. Good afternoon.
Have you ever not gotten one before?
This is so big.
That was a loud cheers.
Can I imagine that?
Because you guys were sitting here and it's just...
So now we're doing our rat test for Australia, the pre-departure rat test. The cost was covered by the hotel. We're now taking a taxi to Nadi City to check things out.
Sorry. Last day in Fiji!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Boston. For your safety, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened and your cabin baggage stowed until the seatbelt sign has been turned off.